nightmare.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Subculture, the podcast where we discuss everything strange, obscure and downright messed up in the world of movies. My name's Gary.
And I'm Simon.
Welcome to episode 33. Today we're discussing the film Holy Motors, directed by Leos Carax from 2012.
So, Gary, give us a bit of a rundown on the old synopsis.
Holy Motors is a fascinating, visually striking labyrinth of interwoven fantasies that follows the mysterious Monsieur Oscar, who over the course of a single day takes on 10 bizarre guises, ranging from a gangster and an aging millionaire to a troubled parent and anarchic tramp. It's been called one of the rarest of all things, a true original.
Okay. Right, so let's dive headfirst into this analysis of the film, Gary. So, Gary, I picked this film, so
You did.
what did you think?
Well, I was going to
well,
you first. Cause...
I hadn't seen it before I picked it.
Oh, do you not? Okay.
No,
right.
This was the first time watching it was for the podcast.
Right.
As I do with many of my picks, it's an excuse to watch the film. What do you think? What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it.
Right.
I feel kind of bad because I feel like I've been shitting on your picks recently. But
That's what I did. Like, as I said, it's not something I had fallen in love with and then brought to you and said, watch my child for a second doing tricks. This is just, I mean, I had heard good things about the film.
Yeah.
It was quite lauded by critics. And
yeah, to a kind of insane degree.
Yeah.
I struggled to find a bad review of the film, like from
Yeah,
like mainstream
I found that
mainstream
as well.
critics. Which and to me it's like I can't see it at all. I don't know what they're watching. To me, it was a film, sort of a sincere film, but one that's incredibly isn't really nothing to say. I felt it was just kind of tedious in a way. I didn't really engage with anything. I didn't find anything interesting. I mean, to say you don't engage with it, it didn't really. It's not a narrative film, and it wasn't developing character really. And it's kind of about, I think, from what I can gather, it's meant to be about how modern technology and how in the modern world the communication were kind of sort of isolated, kind of, and that's not a idea that's similar to Crash.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, it's sort of a homage to the history of cinema, but it felt like ultimately very shallow, kind of trite in a way. Maybe like I think Carax himself, he's had a troubled time trying to get films made in that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like maybe he wanted to here's all my take on the history of cinema and how kind of technology in the modern world informs that. And I think it's a film that, funnily enough, you could read. It's kind of blank in a way. You could read incredible depth into it, which is what I find a lot of the critics have done. But I don't know, it might just be me that I didn't get it. But I didn't engage with it at all. Saying that, there was some great scenes, like the Kylie Minogue stuff, the song she sings is good. The accordion dance scene is good.
I relate to that scene.
There was moments I quite like the one scene with where he goes to pick up the daughter at the party. That's like the best scene in the film for me.
Yeah,
that's the only moment it gets real. And I was like, okay, I'd rather follow that film than see all the other like different characters and stuff. But I'm guessing that was meant to be his real life. But
it's hard.
That's maybe a mistake to assume that.
Yeah, I mean that seemed to be the one that had the most bases and plausibility for being real, because there's no kind of like breaking out of it necessarily at the end. You know, the daughter is there, and she doesn't seem to be in on anything. She's just his daughter. You know. So like my take, I quite enjoyed this film. I didn't have the same depth of problems that you had, you know, with the not connecting to it. There was definitely some scenes that just, well, I was like, that's not, you know, not hitting the mark at all. funny you should mention the Kylie Minogue musical scene, because I really didn't like that at
Oh,
all.
right, okay.
I was like, oh, this is cringing me out. Like
Right.
I don't know why. Like for some reason it was just felt forced.
Right.
Whereas like the accordion scene, the musical interlude, I thought
Right.
that was genius. I
Okay.
really enjoyed that, and but it's hard to tell with this. Like there's like so many layers are implied of reality. You know, like when
Mm.
it starts off when we first meet Monsieur Oscar, um, he seems to be leaving his family for the morning, going off in a limo to do his job.
Mm.
And at this point, once it started, like, he's talking about so many clients and appointments today for the day, and we see him dressing up as old women at first, which is probably the most throwaway character in the like character he dresses up as in the film. It just
Mm.
seems so pointless. I didn't get that one at all.
Mm.
I thought we'd have had more that were like that were just kind of bit pieces, but the rest of them seemed to go into them fairly deeply.
Right. Aye.
When that started happening and we were seeing him, like, putting the makeup and stuff like that in the limo, I started thinking, is this some sort of comment on like an actor's life?
Mm.
Like in auditioning, and
Yeah.
becoming all these different people, for effectively getting no feedback. You know what I mean? It's really just what they make of it.
Right. Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of what I always, you hear actors talking about the kind of when they are auditioning, it's very
Mm.
cold and you kind of put your all into it, and you're really not getting anything back from it. It's kind of like you're just there and doing something.
Aye.
And it seemed to be that, especially when he went to do one of the scenes that was kind of out of place for me was the motion capture suit
Right.
scene.
Aye.
I was like, what's this all about? And it worked okay until I saw the CGI stuff.
Mm.
And then I was like, no, that's kind of. It was almost going to pass as like, okay, that was kind of interesting. I don't really know what was going on there,
Mm.
and I felt they shouldn't really have put a face on it. The computer generated effects or whatever. I don't know. I enjoyed it, as I say, but there was so many scenes within it that kind of. That's when I had the same feeling as same kind of feelings. It wasn't connecting, or I wasn't getting what was meant to be, going on. The main character, what's his name? No, Dennis Levant.
Mm.
I thought he was really good in the
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
I thought his performance was really strong. I quite liked his kind of, was that kind of evil leprechaun he was playing or something,
Oh,
like,
right.
that kind of, that was interesting to watch because it was more kind of physical.
Mm.
Um, and but I mean, like, I don't know, it lost me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I enjoyed it, but it lost me by the end of it.
Aye.
I was kind of like, what's with the chimpanzees?
Right.
Well, I don't get what we're saying here.
Yeah. I
And
didn't
then the
get that
talking
either.
cars.
Yeah.
I felt like I was at the end. I felt like it was at the end of an episode of Thomas the Tank Engine.
Right.
When they're all talking in the shed.
Right.
um,
That's maybe Cars reference to Cars as well.
maybe
That's,
I've never seen Cars.
but yeah, nah, it's like it totally jumps off the cliff there,
Yeah,
doesn't it, if it
yeah.
hadn't before.
And I was waiting. I thought something really interesting is going to happen here at the end, maybe,
Mm.
because it opens up really interestingly, with the sleeper character or whoever, it's the director that's playing the guy at the beginning.
Oh, right, aye.
And he wakes up in his room and he opens a kind of hidden door in his room and he's in a theatre and he's watching all these kind of old images of the history of cinema, effectively, like which looks like the kind of some of the original like cinematic images that were caught. And that seems kind of interesting. Although is there like a tiger or something like that running down the
Yeah.
aisle chasing after a child or something, or walking after a child? I don't know.
Mm.
That I don't know, but that was kind of interesting. I thought maybe we were going to get something else that kind of visually interesting to bookend it, but it really just felt like a cartoon at the end, especially with the cars flashing as they talked.
Right, aye.
I don't know. I get why they did that to just show which car was talking, but that was the kind of most. That's when it felt like they were talking about the technology thing,
Mm.
but it was very bluntly handled. It was like, if that's what you're trying to say, and you had to wait to the last 2 minutes or whatever of the film and have cars talk about it and basically say what you're trying to get at.
Yeah.
I didn't get that for the rest of the film.
Mm.
Felt like, well, what was the point of the rest of the film then?
Yeah.
If that's what you're trying to say, and you could have said it like this. No.
Yeah, I think the film, the thing with sort of Levant playing all the different characters, it's like feeding into the thing about the idea of what's authentic in the modern world. Maybe if you've got an internet persona, what's the difference between that and your real persona type of thing. But so interesting ideas there, but not really explored in any kind of interesting way.
One of the scenes that I quite liked, and I thought they were going to try and do something interesting with, well, something interesting, something probably we've seen before, but something I thought they were trying to do something was when he dresses up and he goes and it's like it's like a hit on one, he's assassinating basically like a mob boss or something or a drug
Aye,
dealer, and then basically like totally proceeds to shave his head and everything, and make him look like him.
aye,
He thinks he's killed him, and he proceeds to then stab him back in the
right,
neck,
aye,
looking like a mortal wound, effectively, like he's
mm,
gushing blood. And they're both lying there, supposedly dying.
aye,
So I thought, how are they going to play this? Like, and then they see that one of them's getting back to the car,
aye,
and I'm like, what is this? Are they trying to do something here with a kind of a switcher or something? Do we know?
mm,
You know what I mean? But it just didn't. Nothing came of it, and I was
yeah,
like, well, okay, right. So what was? And it was like, well, because he was now out of playing that part, he wasn't wounded anymore. As soon as he got back in the car, he was basically fine again.
mm,
Oh. And like the bit where he goes and assassinates the banker, which is him from the beginning of the film.
see, the guy he kills,
Huh?
he dresses up to be to exactly like the guy's
That's
gonna
right.
kill.
Yes.
Yeah. And then what happens again? Is it the guy who the hit zone that comes back to life?
We don't know.
All right.
Sorry. So he basically he's himself
Aye.
basically a skinhead, right?
Yeah.
And he goes down, and there's a guy with long hair
Aye.
and stuff, and he kills him, stabs him in the neck, and then as he's lying dead, supposedly, he shaves his head and makes him look and dresses him exactly like what he's wearing
Aye. Right.
to make it look like it's him that's been killed. I
Right.
guess that's what the idea would be, right?
Right.
But while he's doing that and he's getting things ready to go, the guy comes back to life effectively, or he's not dead, and stabs him back.
Aye.
Essentially, they both lie next to each other, looking the exact same, with the exact same wounds
Hmm.
and bleeding out.
Right.
And
Aye.
then next was just that holds for a second, and then it switches to him getting like crawling back up the kind of road back to the car.
Hmm.
But nothing's ever alluded to it not being him
Hmm.
or anything.
Aye.
And in fact, it's almost as if like once he's out of that character and gets back into the safety of the car,
Hmm.
he's no longer wounded either. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Aye.
It's almost like it's been completely a role,
Hmm.
which they kind of do with him getting shot when he goes to assassinate the banker as well. You know, it's I don't know.
Hmm.
And then there's the scene where he's the dying father and the daughter's there and they have the lengthy kind of heartfelt
Aye.
conversation, and then he's like, I have to go.
Yeah.
She's like, thanks for that, you know, and
Mm.
she seems to be acting as well. She's not. That's not really her.
Hmm. Possibly.
I think
No.
she says she's got another appointment as well or something like that.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think so. So I don't know. Like I enjoyed those scenes. You know what I mean? Like I enjoyed like none of those scenes kind of felt tedious or like I knew what was going on within the scene. I was happy enough
Mm.
to just watch the scene, you know,
Mm.
and get that. But it was kind of like I couldn't see what it was meaning for the bigger picture.
Yeah, it's sort of the same kind of ideas you might get in like Inland Empire or something. But
Yeah, but Inland Empire.
yeah, I was gonna say like,
Sorry.
does it have? If it doesn't make literal sense, can you grasp something even if you can't understand what it is? Um, like for me, it always seems that Lynch has a kind of internal logic, um, and you kind of you're happy to for him just to guide you and take you in a ride. But this just seems like he's throwing kind of ideas up there, but they're just kind of identity in the modern world. I'll do that, and I'll have all these scenes like people switching identities and sort of creating alternate personas, but um, he's happy just to do that. That's it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to. I say, especially with say the final scene with the cars, it just seems like that just seems like it just seems to like negate everything that's come before it.
Mm.
I think it was Kermode said about the limousine driver at the end putting basically the mask from
Yeah.
the face with no eyes.
Yeah.
No,
Eyes without a face.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Same actress as
Yeah,
well.
it is.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it
didn't know
was in
that.
that film. Aye.
Oh, I didn't know that. No,
Aye.
right. Okay, so what's that all about? What's that all about?
Yeah, it seems just another vacant kind of reference to cinema and sort of masks and alternate personalities or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. It's a head scratcher. I'd say I enjoyed it up until the end because I could look past because I felt as if it was maybe going somewhere, but it didn't really pay off for me. You know what I mean? I didn't really get much out of it by the end. I was still left thinking, well, that was kind of goofy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I've not seen any of these other films. I mean, what about you? Have you seen?
I've only seen Lovers on the New Bridge, I think it's called, or Le Amant de Pont-Neuf,
Hmm.
whatever that means. It's okay. It's got some kind of visually striking scenes. It's got Danny Levant in it as well. But I don't know. Did you watch that interview with him?
No.
All right. I watched a few on YouTube, but I don't know. He didn't come across well. Just just kind of laid back and that, like very kind of, I don't know, no smug, but kind of detached in a way.
Like, is he hiding the
Wasn't
fact that he doesn't know what he's
kind of,
maybe
yeah.
doing? Like, I heard that like, he had a pretty kind of hard line against digital photography.
Right.
And this film is shot digitally apparently because he couldn't get the money, or it was make it easier to shoot, and he's trying to get money to make his next film or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, how much you've either got a hard line or not.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
does that take some of his credibility away?
Um.
You know, like, if he's going to cave on that, then I don't mean like that, but you know what I mean. Like if you've got a kind of thing that's you, you know what I mean,
Mm.
or like a thing that kind of defines you as a filmmaker,
Yeah.
and you've been very vocal about it. I don't know, like to me, I guess you're free to change your mind, but I just feel like maybe he's done it just it feels like he maybe made this film just to make money to make the next film.
Right. Hmm.
No,
Well, I don't know. It's not really a film you would make if you were just doing it.
that's true. That's true.
But
I get you. I mean, yeah.
well, I think maybe what he's done is that idea of digital cinema. He's kind of thrown that in there. It's in the mix somehow, but he's there's not really any kind of outcome to it.
Mm.
Um, I mean, I think it looks excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty stunning. I don't know. It's a funny one. Just the critical reception. To me, it just seems like I don't know if it's just like cause it's there's so much there's all the references to the kind of history of art house film
Mm-hmm.
that's maybe an alternative to like what maybe Tarantino might do. It makes kind of critics kind of
Yeah, I get what you mean.
oh yeah, they can just go crazy and pick out all the references.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't have thought that would really uh, make the difference where they would just be blind to like a bad film. But
But then, yeah, I mean,
um,
let's take a step back. You mentioned Tarantino there, and you've mentioned previously that you're kind of you don't really like that style that Tarantino has with the kind of the references to other films and things like that. You're not a big fan of that,
mm,
yeah. So, but generally the critics are quite favourable to his films as well. You know, do you know what to say?
I don't know. I thought the kind of general critical reception was that with every film he makes, he gets a little with the sort of still they're hits, but no one takes them quite as seriously as they did
Right.
like
Mm-hmm.
when his
Mm-hmm.
first two films.
But I mean, this is like really maybe the first type of film like that Carax has made.
Um,
And it is kind of it's a different, as you say, it's more art house stuff. So it's maybe the kick that the critics were getting out of Tarantino's films to start with
mm,
is the same. The alternative kick that they're getting out of
yeah,
this film because it's like kind of the more niche,
aye,
like lesser known or not mainstream films
yeah,
that he's referencing, and maybe they're getting the kick out of that.
maybe,
I mean, looking at on like Rotten Tomatoes just now, it's like a 91%.
mm,
fresh, and I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate it, or I didn't have the same problems that you had with it, but like, I don't know. I wouldn't hold it up there. You know,
Mm.
I would, maybe like a 7, only because the end, only because how it it doesn't pay off really for me.
Right.
I would say like a 7, at most,
Mm.
but it is weird that there's not really any like kind of negative response to it.
The only kind of bad review I could find was just like some kind of just film vlog thing.
Mm. Well, it's not even divisive. It's just everybody seems to like it, but
Yeah.
you and a wee bit, they like it more than I do.
Aye.
Um, I don't know. Like, what do you think? This is one you would watch again?
Um. Probably wouldn't. Although it may be one that you have to give it a few
Mm.
viewings, but
Where do you think the title comes from? Really, obviously it's the name of the company that housed the limos, but that's only really kind of comes into play at the end. But what do you think it is in reference to, or if anything?
um.
It's okay to say you don't know.
Yeah, well, I hadn't thought about it, but I'm just thinking. I don't know. Is it maybe the idea that this corporation um, is in the business of delivering um, sort of heaven in a way, or the kind of
Fantasy.
fancies that
Mm-hmm.
the customers are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Although I don't know if that makes sense for every character. The girl that her dying father or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing.
You don't know who the client is.
Aye, yeah.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, in the Eva Mendes section when he's the little like leprechaun guy, I would take it was her. It would seem to
Right.
be Eva
Yeah.
Mendes' character because it's kind of like she doesn't want to be there as the model.
Mm.
It seems to be like she wants kind of out of there,
Mm.
but who knows? You know what I mean? It's and you'd presume it's the daughter in the dying father scene.
Yeah.
They play the father daughter like card journey as if that's an appointment. No, is that not played like that's an appointment?
See, I didn't think that at first,
Right.
because just the fact that he's talking about what he's been doing all day, he said all these appointments and that. So it seems
Yeah,
like,
but it's hard to tell because there's so many times when you think it's the real guy,
oh, aye, sure.
so you don't know like
Yeah.
is that part of it, the whole thing?
Mm. It just feels a bit more real than the way he interacts with any of the other characters.
Well, I mean, what with the interaction with Kelly Minogue's character, they seem to have
Oh,
some history.
yeah. Mm.
And that again brought it back to the kind of actor thing for me. Like the whole like, I didn't think you were working anymore.
Right. Mm.
Or well, I am, but I'm just like I'm kind of outside the normal. Or, it seems like like kind of actor speak for like them kind of maybe going to do theatre or or staying out of the kind of mainstream films. You know
Right.
what I mean, and still working and still being like a presence. But yeah, I don't know. The chimpanzees definitely. What's that all about?
The only thing I could think of was a reference to Every Which Way But
I know.
Loose.
I was just gonna say that.
Oh,
Then.
yeah.
I was just gonna say it as a joke.
Yeah. But I didn't recognise the character that he was dressed up as, even if that was meant to be anything.
Monkey wasn't called Clyde, so
Right.
um, somebody calls it the like 12 o'clock, isn't it? And goes to, and punches.
Right, aye.
Yeah, it's a good film. But nah, I was gonna say that's a joke there, but like maybe it is. I
Right.
don't know.
Didn't really think anything else in Monkeys.
Mm, Planet of the Apes.
That's a film that's also about um, not being
Trans-
aware of the proper reality until
yes,
the
aye,
end.
yeah. I was gonna say trans-species erotica, but
Oh, right, well, that as well, yeah. Okay, so any final thoughts on Holy Motors?
I'm gonna try and watch it again.
Right.
I wanna see if I can get anything more from it. Um, I, knowing now that there's nothing really to culminate in the ending,
Mm.
maybe I can take something else from the the scenes. Worth a watch, and I mean, if most people reviews are to be believed, it is a good film, but
Yeah.
or a great film by most people's reviews. I'd say it's a well made film. I don't know if the story or the plot is very well thought out or crafted. I don't know, but what about you?
Yeah, I guess ultimately I'm kind of dubious of Carax. I'm sort of sympathetic to the ideas and the style, but um, to me it was very just really empty. Some visually striking scenes and stuff, but ultimately it was kind of slightly indulgent and maybe kind of trite in a way. So, but check it out. It's been pretty much universally sort of
Yeah,
lauded and stuff. So,
maybe something you take from it that we didn't quite get.
yeah,
Okay, I think that wraps us up in the conversation for Holy Motors. Gonna do a slight throwback to some old podcast, Gary. We're going to do a little mini random shit.
right.
Yeah. Back by popular demand. So welcome back to random shit.
So there was a big announcement that Twin Peaks is finally getting a
Yep.
Blu-ray release. It was sort of, we knew it was in the works, but it's got a street date of July 29th.
Yeah, it'd been kind of hinted at like earlier in the year. I believe there's I don't know if I can't see anything in the specs for it, but it was rumored that it was going to be there was Lynch had shot some new stuff for a little short tape, kind of 15 minutes something to wrap it up a bit better.
Right, yeah.
Well, not necessarily wrap it up a bit better, but give it an ending or something further in the story. But I can't see anything like that in the specs. I don't. Did you just notice
Well, there's
anything?
something where it's he's interviewing the characters of the
Right,
Palmer
so maybe that's what it is
family.
then. That's
Yeah.
maybe that's maybe it then. But by all means, man, it's a full packed set. I mean, there's like it's got Firewalk with Me in it as well. It's got 90 minutes of like deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Things. There's a lot of stuff that wasn't on the DVDs.
Aye.
I'm really excited about this set. I've never seen Firewalk with Me. I know it's not one of your favourites, but I'm quite interested to see it. Says it's created from a 4K scan.
Right, aye.
Is that different than the Blu-ray that was released here already?
Yeah, because that's not a great transfer.
Right.
So nice to get a new
I
one.
mean, it's quite interesting because it was announced for the States, and then we had one listed on Blu-ray.com that what looked as if it was not going to be including Firewalk with Me. It was more going to be like a stripped down set, but
Right.
it's now been replaced by the exact same
Yeah.
set. It's the same day release, seems to be in the States and over here, which is awesome. We hardly ever get that kind of thing. And it's a pretty decent price as well. It's not too bad. It's like I think it's like $90 in the States, and it's what 50.
Right,
That's
yeah.
about right, is it? That's a fair
I think so, aye.
conversion, but it's not bad at all for the set. In fact, it wouldn't be bad at all for just the gold, the what was it, the gold box that was released already, but with HD episodes, it wouldn't have been that bad. But there's new commentaries, I think, and things like that on it as well.
No, the commentaries aren't on it, unfortunately.
Oh, they aren't? I thought they
No, well, they weren't on the gold box either.
So
they
what
were
were
on
they on?
the original
The
series
seasons?
1 of.
Oh, right.
I
thought it said that it
was
had
in the both US and the UK. I think had them.
right.
Which because it seems fairly comprehensive in sort of collecting all the previous supplements, but it doesn't have them. But if you got the original DVD, then you're fine.
Yeah,
but,
I had the original set for season 1.
Right.
But I didn't have the season 2 one.
Yeah,
but
season 2 doesn't have any much except for a few interviews and stuff. But
I could have swore that it said that there was commentary on this. It isn't there now, but I thought there was a new commentary or something.
all right.
Anyway, but I mean, what I said, I mean, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Plenty of new stuff there as well. You getting this?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you pre-ordered it?
yes, aye.
Yes, me too.
No, it's a good price. Considering like I'm sure the gold box when it came out was about 30,
Mhm.
something like that, maybe
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I got it for about 15 on
Yeah, I
the
think
sale,
I
but
waited till it was a little lower as well,
um, but yeah,
cool.
pretty happy with that.
Um, Another thing that was announced that you brought to my attention, I hadn't really seen it, and I wasn't really sure what it was going to be because there was some pretty shitty DVD sets released over the time. But there's a Halloween complete um, box set. There's apparently two different versions coming.
Right.
There's like a stripped down kind of version that has all the theatrical versions of all the films.
Mm.
And there's like a deluxe limited edition one which has, I mean, like I've never seen as many like alternate cuts. Like, I mean, there's like it's got apparently the original Halloween Blu-ray that was released and the remastered one.
Right.
It's releasing both of them. It's bringing in the mono audio because I don't think that's been released in any of the Blu-rays yet. It's going to have like the TV cut. I take it in HD. Like the TV cut has, it says ultra rare TV network cut.
Right.
But it was released in DVD a while back, and over here as well. Uh, but it's never been released in Blu-ray. So I take it they've done some sort of HD remaster. I don't know
Right.
how
Okay.
that'll work. But anyway, that's there. They've got the Halloween 2 and the TV cut for that. Again, that was released in the Shout Stream Factory one that I've got. The TV cut, but again, it wasn't HD. It was just in standard def.
Right.
But I don't know how they'll go about that. If the I suppose they would have had to. Or would they have had to cut like the TV cut from the original camera negative, or maybe they're reconstructing it. Don't know.
Mm.
Halloween 3, I don't know if that's got an alternative cut, but like or 4 or 5. But Halloween 6 is the big one because Halloween 6 Hustle Michael Myers has that this is really rare. It's never been released ever. The producer's cut it's called.
Right. Mm.
It's a work print version. It's like basically a different ending, different kind of story for the middle and stuff. And that's going to be released for the first time ever in HD. Like I mean, I remember buying this back in VHS. Like I managed to get like a pirate. Well, it wasn't a pirate copy. Somebody was selling like copies on the internet back in the early days of the internet, and I managed to get like a copy of this. And I've got it on DVD as well. I've got it somewhere else. But that'll be quite interesting to see how that turns out because it was all right. You know what I mean? It was a little curious, so interesting differences and stuff. Halloween H2O, there is a different cut of that, but I don't think it's very, very different because I've seen, I think on that producer's cut, the VHS I had, it had the alternative H2O as well, but I never watched it because I started watching it and it was basically the same, and I never really heard much different about it. It does have the two cuts of both the Rob Zombie films as well, which is interesting because I think the theatrical cut, which is the superior cut of the first Halloween that Rob Zombie did, in HD, which I think it was only released in Germany in HD in Blu-ray. It's never really been released anywhere else. So that'll be interesting to have, and obviously the two cuts of the sequel. But there's apparently a shitload of new extras and stuff like that. And I mean, I said to you that it would take something kind of special for me to even consider this. And to be honest, the producer's cut would probably be enough to tip it if that, unless it get released as a standalone. But there's also a 50-page booklet from one of the Fangoria guys.
Right. Okay.
So I mean, it kind of when I read it to start with, it seemed like that right. So this is what they're just thinking is going to be on it because it seemed a bit kind of over the top.
Okay.
Like overkill. It just they're never going to get the rights for all this stuff. Because surely Scream Factory have some rights, and then Universal have some rights, and different companies own the films.
Aye.
I think that's what's been the problem with the DVDs as well in the past. But then I got to the bottom, and it was on Fangoria's website, and it said and a 50-page booklet written by such and such of Fangoria. And I thought, well, they kind of must know then. They wouldn't be reporting on this probably, and I've seen a lot of links to it on the official Halloween website and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So
it looks quite cut only in the 15 limited edition?
Yes, because there's 15 discs. Sorry, there's 15 discs and there's a 10 disc. So the 10 discs probably got most of the special features on it and just the theatrical ones.
Right.
I don't know a price for this yet. I think it was retail. They had a expected retail, but I can't remember what it was. But it was over $100 anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be worth. I don't. It's probably not going to be a day one for me. I'll wait and see what the reviews are. Because I've got Halloween's 1 to 5 and the two Rob Zombie ones. I've got 2 copies of the second Rob Zombie one because I've got the uncut and the director's cut and the original, and I've got 2 of the original Halloween, and it's just like, and I've got 2 Halloween 2 because I
Right.
wanted that documentary that was on the
Okay.
Universal one. So it's going to have to be awesome,
Aye.
and price dropped a bit before I get it. Probably won't come out over here, to be honest.
Mm.
I don't see it coming out over here. I
Have any,
think
are they still to come out? Most of the films to come out over here.
H2O and Curse of Michael Myers hasn't come out over here. I think neither has Halloween 3 or 2.
Right.
The original Halloween 3 or
Mm.
2. They haven't come out over here yet.
Yeah. So probably not then. Not in
Probably
that
not.
same kind of
Nah.
set.
I could see
Certainly
maybe
not.
the stripped down version, maybe, but I don't even
Mm.
think they'll have the special features.
Mm.
But it depends because I don't really know who what the company is that's releasing it. Because I know Anchor Bay had the rights a lot, or Stars, sorry, had the rights to those films for
Right.
ages on DVD and stuff. But I don't even know who it is that's bringing it out. Let me see if I can find out. What there's artwork now. It says Stars Anchor Bay. So Anchor Bay does have a foothold over here now, but
Mm.
it just depends who's got the rights to it, I guess. The placeholder artwork that's up online's pretty shit. It's just, I looked at it earlier and didn't have anything at all, but now it has something. It's a bit pants.
Mm.
Apparently they're all going to come in their own little black Blu-ray case. Like, it must be a slim Blu-ray
Okay.
case with the original one sheet artwork.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. At least
Mm.
that, I mean, it seems like they're doing it the right way.
Aye.
If you're going to do it, but as I say, it'll probably be one of the things that have to come down in price, and I'll maybe have import tax is going to be a bitch, and it's going to be awkward to get it.
Aye.
It's like the Friday 13th box set that came out. I'd quite like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still pretty expensive, and if you get it on Amazon.co.uk, I think it's over $100.
Right.
Unless you want it used. But yeah, it's cool that it's coming out. As I say, when you told me about it, I was kind of thinking, oh, it's just going to be like, I mean, they released them in DVD once,
Okay.
right? And they did Halloween 1, 2, didn't do 3, they did 4 and 5, and H2O.
Mm.
And like, you know what I mean, that was the complete Halloween
Right.
box, or something like that. And I was expecting some sort of half-assery like that.
Yeah.
So to see that kind of basically similar to the set that the Friday 13th series got, pretty cool. Kind of make me a little nervous for the Nightmare on Elm Street set I've got, because that's fairly stripped down,
All right.
to be
Yeah.
fair. Although that was based off the original DVD set that we got of it, and that was pretty comprehensive with the special features and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe there's not much else to keep it out for it. But there you go. That's that. Batman, Gary.
Batman.
Batman.
Mm.
What did you think of the costume?
Yeah.
We've some of our most popular episodes are about Batman.
Yeah.
And we are self-professed Batman fans. Got a cool Adam West Batman T-shirt the other day.
Oh,
But it was for Asda, but it's
right.
pretty cool. And it's Adam West right there on the T, and it's na 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 Batman.
Right.
My na 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 Batman T-shirt.
Right.
So but I quite liked it. I thought I have to have that.
Sure.
So it was only £8.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think of the reveal of Batfleck?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. It looks as if they're going for a more gritty thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like what I would kind of pick for a costume.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Like someone pointed out, like if you look at it, it's kind of the closest in like a more modern look to the Adam West costume. Like, see the way that because the ears are like smaller, the way the brow is,
Right.
and the way that the cape goes
Aye.
around it. It's kind of weird. That it's kind of going back to that without going there. You know what I mean? It kind of looks like very much like Batman.
Sure.
Because say what you will about Adam West Bat costume, it did look kind of low rent and cheaply made, but it was very comic book accurate for the time. It looked like Batman. But no, I'm psyched about this. I think it looks awesome. And the Batmobile looks pretty cool as well.
Yeah. So it's a good start, but I've still got
Oh
reservations
yeah,
about the
yeah,
film.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's made me a little more confident for at least that I like the look of Batman. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm not going to look at it and think that's not Batman.
aye,
I had some worries for a while because there was some like supposed concept art released a while ago that basically was like a costume that looked pretty much like the Bale one, except where the bat was a bit bigger. It was the same like bat symbol looked like as the Bale
right.
costume, and it was yellow.
Oh,
Bat
aye.
in the chest, and I was like, that looks horrendous.
Mm,
It looks like Batgirl's costume. That's anyone that knows Batman and
right.
Batgirl will know what I mean. But that's what it looked like, and I was like, that
Okay.
looks ridiculous.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I can live with that. I mean, the worst Batman film's still a Batman film.
Mhm.
Even if Superman's in it and Zack Snyder fucks it up, who knows? But I'm more confident in the look. They've got that right to me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more confident in the look of Batman than I am in the look of Superman from even the Man of Steel.
Right. Yeah.
Even though I quite like that film, something about that. The way sometimes I see pictures of him in that costume, and I think that doesn't really look like Superman to me. But this looks like Batman.
Yeah.
So they've got that.
Cool.
So that brings the end of episode 33. We're edging ever closer, guy, to that elusive number 35. Might as well make that a landmark.
Right.
Might as well, Gary.
Halfway to 70.
Halfway 70 fives. So you know what they say when you're halfway to 70, Gary?
I don't. What did they say?
You're a third of the way to 105.
Aye.
Oh, we've now done more episodes than our age. And
Right.
35 is probably the next big landmark for us as in age.
Okay.
Would
Aye.
you say?
I guess so. Aye.
Yeah. Next time on Cinema Subculture, we're looking at next, Gary.
Don't go in the house.
All the basement, all the woods,
Woods.
all the supermarket.
Right. Didn't see that one.
No. Yeah, so that was directed by Gary who?
Joseph Ellison.
Nice pool.
Yeah.
Cool, so that's going to be episode 34. Yeah? The video nasty?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so join us for that episode. Goodbye.